Hello and welcome to this video. Today we are talking about the dumb, so stupid things that we believed as children. We asked our audience to submit the assumptions that they had when they were kids about the real world.
Yeah.
And we're going to be hearing them, reacting to them, and also sharing our own. And let me tell you, they're dumb real stupid.
Woo!
Yeah, shall we get into it?
Yes, I love dumb assumptions.
I was a pretty dumb kid,
assumptions.
yeah.
You were a dumb kid.
I feel like I'm a pretty dumb adult too, so
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Guys, I sucked phones, let's be real.
Excuse me?
You sucked phones?
sucked phones?
Don't tell me you don't remember this.
Because the phones taste so good. Because the phone air on a corded phone.
I am so sorry I brought this.
No, I'm right there with you.
Okay, guys, sorry.
Tell me about sock phone.
I was homeschooled for a little bit, okay?
It's okay. Tell me about sock
so
phone.
sometimes if you had like an office phone or like a calculator or a remote, and you just kind of put your mouth on the opening and you go, you could like taste the plastic.
It's like the plastic like circuitry kind of like.
Yeah.
No, I'm following. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that.
I wish I had one right now that I could.
Yeah. Anyone got any plastic
Yeah.
we can suck on?
And then Shane was like, you know what? You should vape.
You would love this thing called vaping. All right, should we hop in?
Let's go, Tom.
Okay.
I'm so sorry I got to Tom.
The most common submission.
Ooh.
I thought there was a tiny guy or gnome in the poles at traffic lights behind the button you pressed to cross the light, and he was controlling the lights changing.
Whoa.
The most common.
The most common.
People believe this gnome is there.
Wait. So you press a button and they think that.
That's just where he's housed. That's his
okay.
home. The button where you go,
But they
wait.
think that this small person or
No.
creature presses a different button.
So,
No,
well, he's
it is
controlling the traffic lights.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
But when you press the button, that's like him going, wait.
Yeah, well,
And then
I
he,
mean,
like,
that
gets
must
the
have been
lights
super
going.
scary for somebody to think that there's someone in there. When they press it, they go, wait.
I feel like I believed something similar when I was a kid of like, well, someone's doing this. It can't be automated. And especially in Ocean's 11 or whatever Ocean's heist movie where he's like, I'm going to turn all the lights green. Like he hacks the lights.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, whoa, he's the guy now.
Yeah.
Like he
It's just
was
a
another
computer guy
guy.
looking at all the different traffic lights.
Yeah.
Like,
And there are people inside the cars in the movie Cars. So, have you guys seen the illustration?
No.
is-
no.
are they-
Of the
are they like-
of the
are they
man,
like-
Oh, like
of
they're
the
like
man
this?
inside
Yeah.
Lightning McQueen? Yeah, I mean, that's real.
Jesus.
That's
real.
horrifying.
Jesus.
There's a light pole shaped person inside.
Yeah, just really long,
Yeah.
stretched out. Do you guys have any like little men, little guys elsewhere?
I don't know that when I was a kid I was believing that there were little guys controlling things.
I thought I was in the Truman Show till I was like too old. So I thought there was cameras everywhere.
I did always think that like there was like a camera in the TV. Like the things you're watching on TV, I thought maybe they could see you.
Because of like Dora talking to you.
Yeah, or like newscasters, they're like looking straight at you and stuff. So like
You
when I
know
was a
they were
kid-
looking
She's
at you,
to me, and I
talking
thought
to you.
when I was a kid, I was like, I could see them, they could see me, you know?
So do we think this is a stupid, or do we think it's kind of justified? I think it's childhood whimsy. I'll allow it.
It's reasonable.
It's reasonable.
I
Yeah.
think I'm on a little bit on maybe it's not like stupid, but I'm like, yeah, they're pretty silly, you know.
It's reasonable or stupid, Trevor.
Okay, I'm choosing not to comment.
This episode is brought to you by Stitch Fix. Let's talk about shopping, guys. I spent way too many hours doom scrolling through clothing options all the time. But this is where Stitch Fix comes in. Stitch Fix gives you a quick style quiz where you share your size, your vibes, aesthetic, and your budget. And then, ta-da! Style magic, an entire wardrobe at your fingertips. Can you imagine? You're matched with a stylist who handles everything, so I don't even have to think about it. Stitch Fix sends a fix box, or should I say a fit box? See what I did there? Because there's fits inside. Haha! My fix box was filled with options for when I come into the office at Smosh, especially for those shoot days when I'm changing for different channels. I'm always looking for something comfortable but trendy. I found my favorite pair of pants that fit perfectly. Thank you to my Stitch Fix stylist. I like a big pant or a flare with a little top, or a giant top with a little skirt. I'm very particular, but this is perfect. I feel great about what I'm wearing, and I love that I was able to try everything on at home. It saved me so much time so I can focus on other important things like this episode of Assumptions. There's free shipping and returns, no subscriptions required, which I love. Plus, get a complimentary try-on for your first fix. Get started today at stitchfix.com/assumptions to get $20 off your first order. And they'll waive your styling fee. That's right, stitchfix.com/assumptions.
Okay, our next one is, I assumed the black market was a really shady and illegal flea market swap meet in town.
I kind of thought
I think
that
that's
too.
very
I think when
reasonable.
you
I think that's so reasonable.
like when you imagine like what it looks like in your head, like the black market, they go to the black market. It's like really dark.
Yeah, they're like in an alleyway. They're like, hey, you want an apple?
There's a big sign that's pointing down to like a basement.
And it says
Black
Black
market.
Market.
Yeah.
Black market, what's like the dark web? I thought the
Right.
dark web was like so accessible as a child. I was like, oh, what if I accidentally get on the dark web?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the dark web was really hard to get onto.
I think it's
Is
pretty. It's
it?
pretty easy.
I've never been there.
Yeah. No,
You
it's
just Google
pretty
it.
easy.
You can
I've
find
never
it.
been
Just
to
Google
either of
it.
these dark
real, though?
places.
It's real.
Of course you've been on there. What have you looked at? Tell us. Tell us.
I've
What have you
never been.
bought?
I've
Is it
never been
illegal
on-
to just go on there just to like look at what people are doing?
I don't
Can
think
you
so.
window shop in the black market?
Can you window shop? or
Window
just, like,
shop meth
vibe
on the
check?
dark web.
Yes. I just scroll, see the prices.
That's way too much.
my
I'm sorry.
God.
Hey, if I can find a better deal elsewhere, I'm gonna go elsewhere.
Is the black market on the dark web?
I would
I think
assume the dark
that's-
web would have a black market.
Is it like black market
part.
dark web dark?
.gov.
I think .gov. Well,
Wow.
I feel like it's probably like an Amazon. Like it's like a website. Like it's like a spot you can go to.
I like how we don't even have the answer.
I remember, like watching YouTube videos about the dark web and thinking, that it was like truly like evil. Like if you went on there, like someone would hunt you down and kill you.
Right.
Like that was the
I still
vibe.
think that right now.
No, that was a vibe.
like
It's
the
like,
Matrix, like you're entering the Matrix.
no,
Yeah.
like literally just you going on it, like someone will like find your IP address and like come and kill you. But really it's like people just like selling like drugs and weapons illegally.
I still have that fear of just random things that the government's gonna come and arrest me, and I don't know what instilled that in me. I was worried about like my voting like space because I moved, but I stayed within the same thing, so it actually was okay. But I was like, oh, but I moved, and I was like, they're gonna come and kill me.
I know,
the
truly.
government's gonna kill me.
Truly. And then there's all these YouTubers that make like, I bought a car on the dark web. Let's see what shows up. And it's like content for
no.
kids.
Right.
That
It's like
exists.
what?
I'm also going to be looking very closely at these comments to see who knows about the dark web.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's a reasonable thought.
I think it's totally reasonable,
Reasonable.
especially because we still don't have an answer for it. So
No.
our next one is awesome. I believed that airbags were designed to finish you off in a car accident.
Oh my God.
I was always told I couldn't sit up front because I was too small and the airbags would kill me, so I took that and assumed if you didn't die in a car accident, the airbags finished the job.
Oh my God.
That's awesome.
The car just makes a judgment like, nah, we're gonna kill you.
Holy shit.
I mean, they could, sure.
No, I get that. I remember thinking that airbags were like incredibly dangerous as a kid, and that like if an airbag deployed, like it was gonna really like hurt me. Like I didn't understand that it was like safety feature.
Funny.
I was so confused about it too because I was like I was not allowed to sit in the front seat and I was like why, like it feels like the safest area, you're closest to the driver, and then it was like no, the airbag, see look, it's right there, and it's like it says airbag on the car and you're like oh,
Like why do they have them in here?
Yeah. What was with all the fear mongering against airbags? I guess if you're small, they'll
your
hurt
little
you.
your little bones will break more because people will break a clavicle either from the seatbelt or like an arm injury from the airbag deploying.
Yeah,
It's
I think
crazy.
it's the height. I think it's the height.
Yeah,
Like,
I think
I think
it's
it deploys like if you're a kid, it deploys right
Right
into
on
your
your
face.
Oh yeah, that
Instead of
could
your
snap a neck
chest,
probably.
so.
It's because the purpose of airbags isn't to like prevent injury. It's preventing injury, but it's preventing an injury that's worse than the one you are going to get from the airbag.
Sure, yeah.
Exactly. What do we think? Reasonable? Very reasonable.
Reasonable.
IMO.
I mean, it's reasonable because it's
kind of real.
I think it's kind of crazy that it's like, oh, this is built to kill you. It's crazy. But the fear of an airbag is not crazy.
All right, our next one. If you swallowed gum, it would take 7 years for you to crap it out.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
That one I thought would be the most common one.
That and like the watermelon seed growing into a watermelon in your
Right.
tummy thanks to Rugrats.
Right.
You would know this.
No, I know.
Oh, you do?
I watch Rugrats. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that for a long time.
I mean, how like we didn't have any evidence to prove otherwise.
I would just
That's
eat the
true.
seeds
I
and then
haven't-
be scared.
Speaking of this, Patrick, who edits this channel, said that my grandma told me that if I ran through the sprinklers, grass would start growing out of me.
What is it with kids and believing that things are gonna grow inside them?
I think it's just parents being like, what can I tell them so that they won't do
That's
this?
terrifying.
I used to
That's
suck,
so-
I used
got
to
some stuff.
suck them sprinklers because
No.
the sprinkler water tasted better than normal
stop.
water.
No.
Suck sprinkler too.
Yeah.
Metal water tasted
No.
very good.
I drank out of the hose.
I put my
drank
mouth
out
on
of
that
the
thing.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're
I mean,
real
I
for
drink
that.
out of the hose, but as last resort, not as a sweet little treat.
Nose is a treat.
I liked how sharp the water felt on my face and on my cheeks.
Lead.
Yeah, that's really nice.
But the gum thing, I thought it's like someone's like, no, it's not 7 years, it's like 1 year. And then it's like, no, it just digests like a normal thing. Like your stomach breaks things down, and if it doesn't
get
break
covered
down, it
by
just
stuff.
moves on to the next step,
Yep.
and you shit it out.
Yep. I mean, I guess if you eat a bunch of gum, it'll block your intestines up, and then maybe it will be in there for 7 years.
Yeah.
You have to eat a lot of gum for that.
Like so much gum.
So much gum.
Yeah, I was lucky eating gum when I was a kid, though. I loved eating gum.
Like swallowing it, or
Yeah,
just,
you get like flavorful gum, and I would just like eat it as a kid. But then it was like the flavor, like whenever it was done being flavorful, I'd just swallow it and I'd pop another piece in.
Damn.
And then I'm just chewing on it.
Oh, wow.
What was your go-to? Fruit stripe?
Oh, I love Fruit Stripe. I love Fruit Stripe. What was the one? The Ouch, the gum in the little tin. It was like the Band-Aids. Anyone?
I think that was the fruit stripe with the zebra prints.
the zebra
That
was.
Fruit stripe.
That's fruit
That's
stripe.
Fruit Stripe.
I
Loved
don't know.
those.
Ouch.
And then there was
It was because they looked like Band-Aids, yeah.
Yeah.
What's the one that
wow.
came out in the big roll?
Hubba Bubba.
Oh, the
yeah.
no, Hubba Bubba is the chunky.
They
guys.
have a
That's
bubble
bubble
tape, but bubble tape is, but then Hubba
Bubba does bubble tape.
Does bubble tape. And then of course there's Bubblicious.
Yeah, Bubblicious. I prefer
Bubblicious.
Hubba Bubba personally.
I prefer Hubba Bubba as
The
well.
green one.
So do you think this was reasonable?
The
or
gum
stupid?
one? I mean, because we were told that. Because
Yeah.
some of these sound like, what's like, oh, was just my own little assumption in my head. But I feel like everyone.
We
that's
were
one of those,
told this
Like
by
the
adults.
Harbinger situation where it's like, careful. If you eat this gum, it's in your body for 7 years.
Yeah.
Careful. If you run through, it's like, I feel like people just make something up because they don't want you to do it because it's annoying to them. So
Exactly.
they're like, you're
Yeah.
going to turn into grass
The
if you run
grass
through
one
my
is
sprinkler.
crazy.
Yeah.
All right, let's do another one.
Another one.
I used to believe that whenever I saw something in black and white, I assumed that's how people used to see. And sometime in the 70s, when color photos and TV became a thing, people got to see color magically. I believed this one.
You did? Do you believe it?
I do believe it. I truly thought this for a long time.
Yeah.
Like until I was like a little too old to like have believed this.
I think that's fine. Yeah.
Because I think you're seeing. Thank you, Ian.
Yeah.
I think because you just see all of this, black and white footage, and if no one tells you,
Yeah, it's the same
camera's
thing
still
with
there,
it's the same thing with like Greek and Roman statues. Like we all think that they were white, and like a lot of movies show them as being white, but they were actually like all colored, like really colorful.
Statues
like,
were?
Yeah,
they're like painted and stuff.
They were
like-
painted?
yeah, they
It's
looked
just
like
over
people.
time they.
The paint went away?
Paint went away.
Oh my god, wait, they were painted?
Yeah,
What?
yeah,
I want to see.
like bright colors.
Send me
too.
back.
All right.
I want to know. What? Like, give me an example. Like, was David, like, they painted his penis?
I don't know about. I don't think.
Dude, what
David-
color was the
Purple
tip?
and-
I don't know if David.
What
I don't
shade
think
was the
David is
tip?
painted, but like all the sort of like the statues outside the Roman Colosseum and all those, like they were all painted like real
Oh,
people.
yeah, I get that. That makes sense.
Which all that to say, if you've only seen things in black and white before 1940, yeah, sure. Like I think it's okay to assume that everything was in black and white.
Yeah, I think, like, as kids, I think I remember once assuming that and then being made fun of ferociously by my older siblings.
Yeah, my dad made fun of me.
What?
When I was like, yeah, so everything was black and white back then. Yeah. He's like, what?
It's like, you idiot!
Dummy.
So I'm gonna say this one's dumb only because I believed it myself and I think it's pretty dumb.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's my vote.
That's
But it's truly
fair.
just lack of info. Next one. When I saw memorials for car crash victims on the side of the road,
No.
I assumed they were not only memorials but actual graves. Like someone died, and the ambulance got there, saw someone was dead, and the paramedic was like, "Well, time to start digging, boys."
I think I thought that too.
I think I thought that too for a long time.
That would be kind of awesome if it were the truth. Like if it was just like
had to be buried right where we died.
That would be
Is it any crazier than loading a bunch of dead bodies in a row in a designated area?
No.
It is weird how we're so organized.
I think we should start a new rule where we get buried where we
Exactly where we die. Hospitals hate to see you.
I know. They're like, whoa.
I hope I die in my bathroom.
It's
Being
not a high
younger.
percentage that we will die in our bathrooms.
Is it?
I don't know.
Just,
what were you saying?
Everyone's just
People do be like,
ferocious shits.
Elvis was buried in a bathroom.
God, dark. Well,
Yeah.
since we all believed it, we're not going to call it dumb.
No.
Yeah, not dumb.
Not dumb. All right, our next one. I used to think women just had kids randomly, and the amount that they would have was random too, just because they always seem so surprised to be pregnant.
Huh. Okay.
I guess I get this one.
It's like the stork without the stork. It's like
Right.
I believe in the process of the stork, but I don't believe it's a bird. Like they just show up.
This is just someone who didn't know sex was real.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
this is just someone missing the puzzle
Right.
piece of
Yeah.
sex. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
I have a sibling who thought babies were stored in the boobs as well.
That's a new place for babies to be stored.
They're not.
Hey, bud.
That's the second and third cylinder.
Not stored.
Oh, yeah, I think I'll say about this one. No, there's not much.
No, it's just stupid as f.
It's just unfortunately like when with how crappy sex education can be in our country.
That's real.
You never know
Yeah,
where.
that's real.
Yeah. Like I think I thought getting pregnant, your genitals just had to touch.
Sure.
For real. Yeah.
And it like
Or like
activated
the hot tub thing where like you could get pregnant from being in a hot tub.
right.
I remember being a kid and anytime like in a movie or something I'd hear like sleeping with. And I was always like, are you like, because also in like the Bible growing up, it was like, oh, like Abraham lay with his wife. And I was like, is all you have to do like sleep in the same bed? To,
Right.
like,
I think I
is
thought
that
that too.
sinful? Like to sleep in the same bed as someone?
Yeah, and then Sims showed me otherwise.
Yeah, you got to go like
Gotta
this.
go
under
into
the
the
sheet.
sheets like that. Yeah.
All right, our next one is I thought life was fair.
Oh, honey.
I think we've all been there.
I think that's a hella stupid assumption. That's stupid because the second I started being upset about something as a kid, I would go, that's not fair. And then they go, well, life isn't fair. You're like, oh.
Yeah, I feel like it's a mean thing to tell a kid. I don't know.
That life's not fair.
Yeah.
There.
No, it's a cop out.
Yes.
It's a non-argument to make people confused.
Yeah, it is. It's just like we're done talking about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Life's not fair. It's like, I want the toy. And it's like, you're not having the toy. All right, our next one's scaring me. I knew some parts of the human body were temporary. My baby brother's umbilical button fell off, and bigger kids lost their baby teeth. So I assumed that the reason my baby brother had a penis and I didn't was because mine had already fallen off.
That's
That's
awesome.
awesome.
Dude, my penis
love
fell off.
My penis, my fell off.
Oh,
I love the lore, the like confusion where I think Shane talks about how he thought everyone had penises.
yes.
Like that stuff's so funny to me.
What is an umbilical button?
So that's like, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but like, they snip the cord and they like tie it off. Well, that little piece of like the umbilical cord,
It stays there.
it like stays there for a little bit, and then it falls
Eventually
off or
falls
comes off eventually.
When the child's belly button, like their actual
Yeah.
closes, that then becomes like dead skin essentially
skin tag.
and
Yeah.
falls off.
Okay, why didn't I know about this?
I didn't know about it either, but it makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Because in movies, I'm always like, I just see him like snip the umbilical cord, and I'm
And
like,
then all of a sudden
I'm like,
they're
how does
like-
that become a belly button? I'm like,
No,
I
I
don't get that.
know.
Like, what are we?
I only knew because I had younger siblings and I saw it and it freaked me out. I think fed
It's
into like I have
freaky.
like phobia shit with like
Yeah.
belly button opening and stuff. So like
I also don't like my belly button to be observed or utilized in
or
any
touched
way.
or be
Yeah.
around.
I kind of
No, I
would
think it's
love not to have
disgusting.
belly buttons or fingernails, I'm going to be honest.
Why haven't
about-
we
what
evolved
about
to have that
nipples?
go away more?
We'll
We'll get there in like 5 million years.
Yeah.
Go away! And then our DNA will now in the next baby.
Yeah.
Well, we still have an appendix, and what the heck do we need that thing for?
To look things up.
You know?
Hey, that was
How about that?
outstanding.
That was
How
sick.
about that?
was sick.
Hey, we're
we gotta
on
move on
today.
after that.
Yeah, that was the end of that
We
one.
gotta end on a high note there.
When I was little, I used to think that being lost meant that there were trees everywhere. Because in cartoons and stuff, when characters got lost, they would be in the wilderness or something.
Like in the woods, yeah.
So whenever my family was driving somewhere with a lot of trees, I just assumed we were lost.
That's really
Whoa, I
funny.
love that.
I get
really
as a
cute.
kid, I understand like you could think that. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's right. It's so cute. Like when you're young, you just associate one thing with another, and you have no other evidence or information. So you're just like, "That's it."
Yeah, you're like,
And
thanks,
you believe
cinema.
that. It's all movies and TV that we
Yeah.
like get all this stuff from. I saw a tweet. Sorry that I was on Twitter. Sorry.
Whoa.
I saw a tweet that was like, I think kids don't like vegetables because so many cartoons make vegetables seem bad.
Right.
I can believe that.
Yeah, so you just like adapt what you're given. I don't know.
100%.
Did anyone
I
ever
agree
get
with that.
lost as a kid?
Yeah, I was skiing and I like took a side little path down the mountain and there was like a lot of powder and I fell and I kind of just got stuck by my butt and I couldn't get my skis off because they were stuck. And so I was just kind of sitting there like this for a while. And I was a kid and I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And I didn't really understand like the gravity of the situation. So I was like, well, I'm sure eventually I'll be able to wiggle out or someone will come by. And I just sat there until probably like an hour later, my friend came and he was like, dude, what are you doing? And I was like, I can't get up. And then he's like, oh shoot, and he like tried to like, and he managed to like get one of my skis free, and then we sort of like, we got me out.
You were gonna die there.
I
I was like, were your toes feeling normal still?
You didn't ask for help from anyone?
No, I was literally, I was like on a little side path, and it was like there wasn't anyone going by, and I wasn't shouting for help because I was like, I'm fine, like I feel fine. And then like I get back, and like my parents like, we were like about to call search and rescue, like we didn't know where you were. I was like, oh no, I'm chilling. Like Carson came and got me.
That is wild.
Yeah.
So you're just
Damn.
like this.
I literally was just like
For an
sitting
hour.
in a snowbank like this, and I was like no phone, no nothing. I was just sitting there. I was
Just
like, I
vibes.
can't get out. I'm just
I
hanging
imagine
out.
your parents like finishing a Bloody Mary being like, we were just about to call. We were just about to call, I swear.
My parents were like very chill. They were like, where were you? They were like, what was going on? We were about to like call someone. And I was like, I was just sitting
Do you have an
there.
older sibling?
I do.
Oh, the sibling.
That's why. Wow.
You fell in.
Yeah.
And you got
If
lost.
you're a younger sibling, they're like, oh, I was too crazy with the older one. The younger one's gonna be just fine, I promise.
Yeah.
But if you're the only, my mom would be like,
Yeah.
if it was like 15 minutes.
Yeah. No, I was left at the park many times.
All right, our next one. I was raised Christian and learned what heaven was before space. So when I was little, I thought heaven was up in the clouds and that was just it. When I learned about space and then astronauts, I assumed they just flew up through heaven to get to space, like they had some divine transit pass.
Cool.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, that tracks.
Yeah. No, I had a similar thing. I just thought that when I heard heaven, I like knew space existed, and I thought that God was just kind of up there in space somewhere. Where it was like out there somewhere in the cosmos is like heaven exists like almost not as like a planet, but it's just kind of this thing that's out there in space.
Well, and all the media that we like consumed showed like God and angels like up in the clouds. So like, why would we not think
Yeah.
that
they're right there.
heaven was like up there?
Yeah, I think I assumed like when there was like a boring like little cloud in the sky, I was like, that's not heaven. But when there was like a bangerang sunset and the clouds were popping off,
Yeah, they
like,
have the
heaven's
rays through
here.
it. Yeah.
Like, oh, there it is. Like as if like that's where you kind of go, and then it's like this infinite space within that was heaven. But like that's happening over there in the sky. So if I for some reason wanted to go to space, I would just not go at the heaven part.
You'd wait for heaven to
and go
pass.
for like because like where the sunset was as a kid was always over there, and so if I wanted to go to space, I would just go that way.
That makes sense. That tracks.
Because the space opens. Yeah. I like that. Stupid?
No,
we allow it?
Understandable.
I think
allow
as a child that grew up, like learning about heaven and they are not clear on where or what it is.
Sure.
So it's like as a kid, it's like you just know that it's not on Earth and it's somewhere up there. So like I get it. It makes sense.
All right, our next one. I thought, parentheses, because my mom told me as a child, that the rumble strips on the side of the highway were for blind people who were driving so they knew when they were going off the road.
Okay.
I mean,
Unfortunately, I believed this until I took driver's ed.
oh,
Outstanding.
That's
the
awesome.
kind of lies I want to tell my kid.
That's great.
I'm on board until they said I believed it until I was in driver's ed.
Right.
Because you're taking driver's ed at what? Like 15, 16?
yeah.
Like at that point, surely you have to know that blind people
Can't drive.
aren't driving cars.
Yeah, there are other factors of driving car that don't involve left or right.
Yeah.
There's like start and stop.
Back,
Yeah.
hit person, don't hit person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm all for more accessible driving experience.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
If
we
we're
can
in
find ways for-
self-driving cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we got
Yeah.
Waymo and stuff now, so
Yeah.
let them drive. All right, our next one is insane, and I don't get it, and you'll see why. Animated movies are filmed just like normal movies. They just wait for the time of day when everyone looks animated.
What?
Wow.
You know, animation o'clock, animation 30. I don't know.
What did this person
I cannot
witness in
follow
their
the
life
logic.
where they were like, oh, it's cartoon o'clock?
Maybe their dad was like Wile E. Coyote or something. That's
Just
crazy.
growing up and being like, why haven't I turned animated yet?
Yeah.
God, when
my
am I going to
God.
be animated?
I think I used to think there was another world where all of this was happening, like different animated, because Nickelodeon made it so cool in those in-betweens, or like Cartoon Network, where you'd see all the
Big
cartoons mixed
crossover.
together, like on like their ads before going into shows, like Boomerang. You'd see them all in one space. I wonder if, but my siblings were so mean to me. Like they would lie to me all the time, and so they'd probably tell me like the Boomerang area. I think I remember them saying like, "Yeah, that's a real place."
That's crazy.
Like I feel like I remember that.
You had all these people telling you lies.
So then, what the
it
hell
was Lord of
time?
the
What the hell
Flies.
time was it when Who Framed Roger Rabbit was being filmed?
That's like
'Cause
on
that was
the
in
that's like
between.
on
Yeah.
on the cusp.
on the
They
desk.
didn't have a lot of time to. They had so that shot
Yeah,
for years
magic
and years.
hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember being a kid and watching, I feel like it was probably like Fairly Odd Parents, and seeing like kind of the black, like chunky line outline of the characters. And thinking at one point, like, I wonder why, like, we don't have outlines. Like, on me, like, why I don't have, like,
I
a black
remember that
outline
too.
around me. Like, why do they have those? But yeah, it's just so that the characters had shapes.
Yeah. I'm gonna go full on stupid with this one.
Okay.
Tis a bit stupid. The time
Yeah.
of day.
The time of day.
This is like, how did you get there? I used to think all animals swallowed their food whole. It didn't occur to me that animals could chew.
What?
Yeah, I agree. I didn't understand the concept of like an animal, like a predator animal tearing at meat to eat. I think I thought they
Like a snake.
or like took big bites, like the arm.
Yeah.
But then, like,
the head.
you see like a dog being given like a dog cake, and by you I mean me last night on TikTok. Like they're like, happy birthday dog, and the dog's got like, you know, giant eyes because it's like a dog cake, right? And she
Right.
just goes anyway, so I'm like, that dog didn't chew.
Yeah.
There's some truth to this.
I think there is. And then, like, watching, like, you know, nature documentaries, sharks, if you see, like, a shark eat something, it, like, goes and just kind of, like, and then it's, like, gone.
Dude.
It's like, and it's...
Oh my god, yeah, like seeing those great white sharks that had a whole tire in their stomach. I think I still have this assumption that like there was a scuba diver that was in a shark for like days.
What?
Wasn't there a news story? Can you look it up, Mike? There was a news story where a person survived being inside of a shark. Or maybe I'm crazy.
There was a guy that he got
tires.
swallowed by a whale, but the whale like
Spit him back
him
out
out
pretty quick.
Yeah.
That's in the Bible.
One's in the Bible. I've heard about that one.
No, but
is
no,
his
Jonah. No, but they're. I literally picture the inside of a shark just being like a cave.
Sure.
They open their mouth and it's just cave.
Oh yeah, you can like light a little fire and you're just like,
Yeah, that'd be
Like
sick.
it's like, you know, did you guys ever have a toy shark in the bath when you were a kid and you'd look inside and it was just there until
just a
the
tube.
end?
Yeah.
That's how I still picture it.
I think in a way that's probably pretty accurate.
Because whale sharks, have you ever been near a whale shark?
Sure.
In real life?
Well,
No.
no.
I've seen
Not in real
video.
life.
When they open,
Yeah.
it looks like that.
Yeah, it's cool.
Imagine getting in there.
Yeah. You should go in
It's
there.
like just a big gaping hole. It's not like, because they don't have like when a whale like has like a hinge on its mouth. A whale shark is just like, oh, and you see like the giant gills. And
Yeah.
I think it'd be kind of fun to get sucked inside for like just a second.
Only if I had like a katana or something to like,
Oh no!
you know, like a
maybe just like something to just kind of like pry it open. You know, we don't need a slice.
Or you could like go, excuse me.
Yeah, tap tap tap.
Oh, I mean that'll be.
I am not a
it's
krill.
last resort if I have to like, you know, like if you're like slaying a dragon or something. And
Just
you're, like,
just light your torch. Inside.
Well, I think their gills might be big enough that you could probably just squeeze out of them. I like genuinely, I think
Like
they're big
stand
enough
tall and open.
like you could just get out of its gills. I might be crazy for thinking that, but in my head I'm like, their gills are gigantic. Like I feel like you
Sure.
could slip out.
there's like
I just
marine
kinda go,
biologists
like,
that
it's a
are watching
pocket.
this and shaking
Yeah.
out of anger.
Are we dumb or I think we're dumber than the assumptions.
I'm dumb.
Now we're dumber than the
I
assumptions.
want to believe that though. I want to believe that. So
We need to do assumptions whale shark.
I need to find this story.
There is a related story, Courtney, of a kayaker who
Yes.
was swallowed by a humpback whale.
Yes.
Right, but the whale spit him
And
out.
they spit him out.
40 seconds.
Yeah. That's newer.
That's the one I know about. That was yeah.
I
that was recent.
swear, guys, help me in the comments. Does a guy get survived in shark for 3 days?
Does a guy get
back
survived in shark?
The 3 days is pretty damning.
I'm
because
thinking, yeah. When I think of that, I'm like, oh, like Star Wars style with the bantha, and he like
Right.
cut him open and lived in them.
Now I'm just thinking about sharks. Like, oh,
Okay, this next one is fun. I thought that people's faces kept shedding until you got your actual face. I expected to get a huge nose with my final form.
interesting.
That's crazy.
It's like the movie Uglies, you know? Like you get to be the hit movie Uglies.
Yeah, I don't know.
That movie was
ugly.
so
I read the book when I was a
They're all
kid.
like ugly until they turn 18 and then they get made hot.
Okay,
They get made hot and stupid.
that sounds nice.
I think I couldn't perceive my face slowly, gradually changing over time to look more mature. So I thought that at a certain point I would have an adult face. Like it would kind of pop off.
That's what I thought, but about like my body. I was like, am I gonna be like a kind of chubby child forever? When do I get my adult man body where I'm
Right.
like fit and proportional? Doesn't happen.
I think it's a
happen.
reasonable-ish assumption.
Yeah.
I mean, you see snakes shed their skin, our teeth fall out, and big adult
My
teeth
belly
come in.
buttons fall out.
Belly button.
I think when I was a kid, I thought like one day I would kind of just be able to grow a beard. Like it wasn't gonna be something where it kind of comes in over time and you start to grow more and more. I kind of thought it was gonna be like, oh yeah, like one day I'm just gonna have more hair. Like I'm gonna start growing a beard.
I feel like that happens to some people. Like you see those 7th graders with like a full-blown
Suddenly,
mustache.
yeah, and you see
Happened to
Baby
my
No
buddy
Money's
Nick.
beard. That thing looks insane. It looks like Baby No Money. His beard, it's like I talked to him on Assumptions about it. I was like, that thing looks unreal how it's so connected. But like I feel like when we're taught as kids like how body hair and like all these changes will happen, we're just kind of told that they appear. But it's like I feel like with beards, no one's taught like, yeah, you're gonna start and it might not connect in places and maybe it'll get stronger.
No.
Like, you just kind of get told you will have beard and everyone's like afraid of this thing.
Mine's still figuring out how it's gonna connect.
Same.
And
One
that's
day it'll get
great.
there. One day it'll get
You
there.
guys all look at you three.
Look at
Y'all
us.
have great facial
Look
hair.
at us. And our last one is that adults had it all figured out and knew exactly what they were doing.
Real.
I mean, we all thought our parents were like,
Oh,
I think our parents thought that. I think that our parents thought they had it all figured out.
yeah, maybe.
You know what I
I don't
mean?
know.
fair.
Yeah. I definitely remember, like, I don't remember what brought me there, but I do remember going, like, wait, my mom is just like me, but older?
Yeah.
I mean, like, my dad's just me, but older? What? But then recently, like, maybe like 4 years ago, I was like, I'm not an adult. Like, my friends are adults. Like, they have big money jobs. And I just around on YouTube. Like, I'm not an adult. And then my friend was like, yeah, I didn't have my deed to my car, so I just took it to a place that just ripped it apart for like $20. I don't know. And then he had a baby. And I was like, oh, we're chilling.
Yeah.
We're all chilling. It like broke my thing of like, oh, my friends that, have this big money job, they're just also me. It's fine. We're all just figuring it out.
I, for the longest time, thought, oh, every adult knows better than me, and I need to believe
Yep.
everything that they say,
Yep.
no matter what. And then you just kind of slowly see the cracks. And like, I think something about when you hear parents talk shit about each other, you're like, oh, so like we're all just,
You're messy
Whatever.
just like me.
Yeah.
yeah, like that very much shattered that. And then when you get jobs and your literal boss, who's supposed to be the epitome of authority,
What are you trying to
starts
say?
being a little,
you trying to say?
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean,
What are you trying
you know, like, when, oh my God, I see how, no, I'm talking about like jobs.
Okay.
No, like I know what you mean. Like, at
yeah.
my Jimmy John's job that I had,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, Jim's like drinking. That's cool.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
when I worked at a play place, play places, and like the boss was there, I was like, this is f***ing for real? Are you
right.
serious?
You're in charge of us.
Yeah,
Okay, buddy.
and you're like, wow. And then that's it's kind of a big learning moment. It also can feel really scary when you're like, oh, sometimes you can't trust anyone with like leading you and trusting.
It kind of makes you doubt everything.
Yeah, it's
when
a
you
big
first
moment.
get that. Yeah.
I feel like I remember like when my dad would tell me stories about when he was younger and I started connecting the dots on like age and stuff. And I'm like, I think he was dumber than I was when I was like in my early 20s.
I've been fishing those out of my parents lately. I'm just like, so tell me another story about when you guys were young.
I love it.
Yeah.
Good.
Like,
That's awesome.
My brother and I fought all the time when we were younger, but like my dad and my uncle, like got the cops called on them because my uncle was chasing my dad down their street throwing steak knives at him.
Oh my God.
I never did that. Like my brother and I
they're
fought.
kids doing that?
Yeah, they're kids. They're like in high school and he's just chasing him down the street throwing steak knives at him.
For fun?
I think they were mad.
What is this? Mario? I'm like, damn, you're throwing the hammers. Like, holy shit.
Hammer Bros.
Yeah, no, and they were like, the neighbor called the cops on him.
Yeah.
Like, I never did anything that
That's good
stupid.
reason. That's so, yeah.
Gosh.
You're like,
Yeah,
I
you never
did that.
attempted murder on your brother?
No, I never was throwing knives at my brother.
That's wild.
All right, and those are the silly, dumb little things that you did as a kid that we thought were silly and stupid, but we also did as well. I love that sentence I just said. Hey, thanks for watching here on Smosh Alike. We've got other stuff. Watch it. We love you, and now leave.
Yeah, that's a solid intro if I ever did hear
Was
one.
that good? Did we like that?
Ask your parents a story.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ask your parents to share some stories about when they were younger. And get your voice, if you're like in your like 20s and like they're like maybe a little older, take your voice recorder out and like secretly just record them telling the story so that when you're older you
Amazing.
can listen back to it. I have done that a few times.
That's awesome.
Smart.
I love that. I love that. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Have you guys ever been listening to a song on the radio and then like look at the car next to you and see that they're listening to the same song?
Whoa,
No, but I
what
love
a special
that.
moment.
One time I was like being an annoying teenage daughter and was like screaming this like Taylor Swift song in the car with my family. And I looked to the car to our left and it was another teenager and I was like, I'm not original.
Oh, you took it as a negative
She
moment?
also was doing the same thing, just like in the middle of the car, like la la. And I was like, oh no.
I was
Baby's first existential crisis.
Yeah, a little bit.
Cute.
So fun. So fun.
I was listening to Super Bass. This actually happened literally yesterday. I was listening to Super Bass and I was going
That's
crazy.
awesome that you
and,
were listening to Super Bass yesterday.
and I was like at a stoplight and I was doing this and then I look in my like rear view and I see the person in the car behind me I think is like they were
Mocking
going
you?
like this and like I think they were cheering me on. I'm choosing to take it as a positive.
Yeah, they probably love to see it.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm experiencing joy right now. I'm gonna choose to believe that they are too.